Welcome back to Built Fabrications, and today we're going to be doing another gas tank. We're going to be getting it put in on this 1970 Monte Carlo. You can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. So I'm not 100% sure as to whether or not the gas tank that's currently in the car is okay or not, but it's been sitting for a while. I'm pretty sure it's the original tank, and it hasn't been started in, I think, at least 3 years is what the previous owner said, before me starting it off the bottle. So I can only imagine that there's going to be probably rust in there, sediment, and just, I don't want to suck it through the fuel line. I was able to pick up this new tank and straps and sending unit, the whole nine, for like 180 bucks or something through Jegs. I got it off of eBay, but through Jegs. So we'll see. It seems like a pretty good deal. Everything seems like it's in good shape, good quality. So we're gonna go ahead, drop it in, cheap insurance. So the assembly of your sending unit and hardware, super easy. I mean, it's basically the same thing on any of these non-EFI tanks. Start with angling your float, and this sock will just kind of bend. That just drops right in. You line up your tabs. Ooh, I'm jumping the gun. Got to put on your gasket first. Don't forget your O-ring, which I'm not sure where that tab would go. Maybe it's just a stopper. I don't know. All right, let's try this again. Got dropped in, get it lined up. That feels better. And then just take your lock ring, pull that sucker out. All right, this is being kind of tight, so what I'm going to do is just try to bend the end of these tabs down just to get under these lips, or the other tabs, just to get it started, and then it will tighten up as we lock this in. But just that thick O-ring is being a bit of a pain to get in there, so I'm going to give that a try. You shouldn't need to do much. I don't know if you could even really see that on camera. I just put a little tiny bit of a kick down on that, so hopefully we'll get started on these. Might need to do a little bit more, but gonna start slow. Well, that took some fiddling, but I was able to get it. I did have to a few times bend those tabs a little bit further, and it wanted to walk around, but like I said, I got it. So please excuse the rain. Hopefully it's not too loud to hear me on camera. But with this done, I'm going to go ahead and drop the old tank from the car, and then we'll get this tank set up the rest of the way. I do not believe that the car currently has a return line, so this is probably just going to end up getting capped off, and then we'll get this new tank put in. All right, underneath the car here, you can see we've got the two straps that run down, and then we have bolt that goes in here. I don't know, that kind of looks like a 7/16. It's pretty small. This side is the hook side. This is the rear of the car. And then on the front, we've got a bolt there. I think it has a nut on the back of it. Well, I know it has a nut. I don't know if it's welded in or if it's a loose nut. But you can see a little bit better there. Here, let's find out. Looks like a free nut, but we'll find out. So I think my plan is to go ahead and drop these rear ones out first, these bolts, just because the hook should still hold it in. So we'll pop these two out and then move on to the front, and that should allow us to swing this tank down and then be able to slide it backwards to get it out the rest of the way. So I'm gonna get working on that. Not really any space to bring you guys underneath as I do it, but you know what I'm doing. I'm removing 4 bolts and swinging the thing down. Pretty simple. Just keep in mind you've got your wires that go for your sending unit as well as your fuel line. So be mindful that that's going to be right up there. So I'm actually probably just going to go ahead and cut the fuel line because I'm going to replace the fuel line. I'm sure this is from the 70s and is quite crusty, to say the least. So I'm just gonna do my due diligence, I don't know why I can't say that, and get that replaced. And just like that, we got the tank out. So you're gonna have your wire. This is going to your fuel level indicator. It just pops on a stud down at the whatchamacallit, that thing. And then you have ground wire that is going to be bolted up here on the right. I just cut it because I got a new one. I just need to take that out, reuse the bolt. But these, oh, it is a loose nut, but I actually didn't have to put a wrench or anything on it. It just came loose itself, so very lucky with that one. But check out this floor, man. This is original floor. This thing looks mint. Absolutely fantastic. I couldn't be happier about this, man. I don't get too many rust-free or almost rust-free vehicles, so stoked to finally have one. Everything under here looks really, really good, man. So, all right, next thing that I gotta do is take off this ground wire like I was saying, and then got new fuel hose. I cut that as well, like I said. I was gonna pop the rest of this off, and then I think just get the new fuel hose on, put on the new straps, and go in reverse. All right, so we got the new tank put in. One thing I will say is I would recommend that you try to pre-shape these straps the best you can. You can see I had to give her a little bit of persuasion and get these bends, and I did not have a lot of slack. One thing I also found out was that the bolts that I was using, or that I had in here previously, were aftermarket, just random hardware stuff that was way too short. So this side I was able to get in and was eventually able to cinch it up, but I fought and fought and fought to get this other side in, and ended up having to trying to get a good angle of it, put a new bolt in there that was longer and more like the correct length for what it was supposed to be for these OEM gas tank bolts. So hopefully you guys don't have this problem. Yeah, so the only thing I have left to do is just pop on the rubber hose onto that hard line up there, and I need to throw on some hose clamps, which I haven't been able to find, which is why that's not on yet. But besides that, this thing is installed for the most part, fairly straightforward. And honestly, if I had the right hardware, probably would be super simple, not that hard at all. So everything lines up. You can see we got good alignment on our fill neck. And that is a job complete. It's starting to rain, so I'm gonna try to be quick. That's the installation on one of these gas tanks. It's very straightforward, nothing really too much to be worried about. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Focus on those straps, get them pre-worked the best you can. Get outside, get wrench on something, piss off your neighbors, disappoint your mom. Until next time, keep on keeping on.